I almost think these two guys over here, they got the right attitude. The hell with it. Go to sleep. Yesterday I went to the polyurethane auto parts place and I got some parts I need. Got some different leaf springs because these ones are wore almost in half. I don't know, quite in half. They got pretty good wear to them. Down there. That one there's really wore. Well, I'm going all this work to put new bushings in. I want some good springs. So I ended up getting these two. They're in real good shape. At least the best ones I found. Looked at every S-10 at the junkyard and those were the only two that were good. So, the only problem is these are 4 leaves. Actually 3 with the bottom, and these are 3 leaf or 2 with this bottom. I want to put these back in. Those will make it sit up too high in the rear end. Also, I need to go get my other slick and put it over here and then measure across how wide the rear end needs to be. And then I'm going to order some axles. I usually run Moser axles, but they seem like they've gotten kind of pricey here lately. So I was thinking maybe I'd try some strange axles. I run some 31 spline axles in it. Got some brakes. Alright, housing ends. We got a housing out here. Of course, it's a 9-inch Ford. It's got the wrong housing ends on it. But you got the right housing ends, big bearing. But it has the big studs. But you can only get humongous brakes with those. I'm not running that style of brakes. I'm using these brakes, which are 10-inch brakes instead of 11-inch brakes. I need more brakes on the rear than the front half. I've used those on many 9-inch swaps before, they work good. Alright, to get those springs switched out, like I say, you go get the other slick rolled up here and then measure from the back of the wheel. Of course, to the back of the wheel the other side, and that'll give me my axle width. I need to order some axles. That's how you get your bushings out. Take torch, heat them up, push them out. I'm going to stick the new polyurethane ones in it, but I still need to assemble this spring. Ran into a problem. Took my old spring apart, and that leaf right there was cracked. It was still holding together, and I just barely touched it, and it broke in 2 pieces. So that's what the junkyard trip was about, to get that spring. I need to assemble that leaf. Passenger side is together. Right there. You need to clean out the eyelets, stick the polyurethane bushings in, and install it. Got my gears. And I grabbed these two little plastic things that go into the spring right here. Actually, that's upside down. Keep it from being metal on metal and wearing. which is why the springs had big old grooves in them, because those plastic pieces like right there, every time they wear out, turn to junk. Got the shackles off on it, and grab my other slick. I can get an idea what it should look like, and the rear end's underneath it. Ordered some axles through Jegs, some strange axles. Don't know when they'll show up. When they show up, I'll get started on the rear end, narrowing it up. I also need to put together the center section, but I'll probably narrow the rim before I do that. I'll use the nodular center section I have to narrow it. Now I'll switch it over to the Detroit lockers. And then we should be able to install everything. Be done with the rear part and then start on the front. Next I might fix the cab corners and rockers, or pull the engine out, don't know yet, haven't decided. That should look good with those meats under it. Now I'm here at the junkyard. Had to cut off a leaf that matched mine. This one's actually good, it's not broken in the middle. It's not perfect. Don't expect much for an old truck, I guess. But anyways, slicer there, slicer off back there. And now I should have the parts I need to put my leaves together. Get them back in. Yeah, I was working on the springs, trying to stick these polyurethane bushings in. And you have to push the shells out. Go in there. Because the bushing will not fit inside there, but they will fit in there. But look how freaking rusty they are down in there. I thought I'd take a wire wheel and clean it out. That didn't seem to do too much but polish the rust. So I got thinking, well, the best thing to do is blast it. Shove the ends of them in the blast cabinet and clean them out. Now they are clean. So these bushings should have no problem going in there. Just like that. Now I'm going to take this spring back apart and stick that leaf off of it so I can shove it in the blast cabinet over here. Once I get that done, bolt all the springs back together, put all the leaves in like they're supposed to be, stick the bushings in, and try to stick them in the frame, up in the spring mounts down there. On the back here you leave the sleeves in there. Probably because if you didn't, there'd be an open spot back in there. You need to clean those up. Pick what bolts I want to use, anti-seize them, and I get the springs in. I was working on my springs, I got that one together. Whether it's the left or the right side, I haven't decided, but I was getting ready to throw this one in the blast cabinet, clean the eyelets up. Oh, look at the center of it. And look what I found. See that line right there? That spring's junk. It's cracked. So now I need to get hunt some more springs and find some that ain't got big old grooves wore in there. A bunch of garbage. Apparently that was going back to the junkyard. I got one. And only one. It ain't gonna do much good, I need two. I got the shackle on the back of the bushing end. I blasted the shackles so they were somewhat clean. Did both sides. Here's the passenger side, but it needs a straightening out because I kind of bent it getting it off because I couldn't get one bolt out. I anti-seized the bolts, as you can see it here. Anti-seized. I just need to lift that spring up. You're up here and see this bolt in, but I have to anti-seize it. And then we'll be done with the left side. Then I'll have to go hunt, go to the junkyard again and get a main leaf that's not cracked. I almost think these two guys over here, they got the right attitude. The hell with it. Go to sleep. The spring is on the driver's side. If you're in the USA, if you're in some overseas countries, this would be the passenger side. Anyways, it's not tighten. Probably final tightening. I'm gonna get the rear end and kind of set it down, get some weight on it, and then tighten it down. And the leaves are still a little loose too. I want to position them evenly. I get that far. That way one don't decide to come out, stick out here or whatever. I need to put those plastic bushings in there too. I showed earlier, but other than that, I'm going to start on this side. But all I can do on this side is clean this up, put the bushing in there. Got the shackle on the passenger side rear. Got the bushing, anti-seize bolt, all that good stuff. That's about all I can do for the moment until I get a main leaf. Back to the junkyard. More fun. Now I'm back to the junkyard. Found me a leaf spring. That should work. That's the best one I found, wear-wise, up in here. Most of them have got grooves dug in them. This one looked pretty good. Also, I scratched around on it here. I didn't see any cracks. Hopefully this one will work. I'm sick of looking at leaf springs. Nipped her there. The bolt come out up there and just cut the U-bolts off. Makes it a lot easier. Stuck that jack under the back to lift it up, but as soon as I cut the shackle off, the truck started to fall over. That was straight, but got her out. Pick that up, pick the tools up, and I'm getting the hell out of here. It's too hot. Alright, got back home, took that leaf apart, checked out the main. From what I can see, there's no crack in it. Looks good. It's gonna get used. Now all I need to do, take the air hammer and knock those bushings out. Then stick it in the blast cabinet, clean up the eyelets, and I should be able to put the leaves back in it to go in it. Which is those ones there to match this side. And I can install it, and hopefully it doesn't sit crooked. Who knows? Guess we'll find out. At least it's not cracked. Okay, got the main leaf that's not cracked cleaned up. Got the bushings out. Blasted the eyelets. I can stick the bushings in. First gotta stick this nasty grease in it. On the bushings and in there. I hate that sticky nasty stuff. I'd rather get somebody else to do it, but I'm here by myself at the moment, so. Alright, got the bushings installed with the icky sticky grease on it. Both ends. Got the bolts anti-seized and ready to go. All I gotta do is finagle it up in there and tighten the bolts down, or snug them down anyways. Well, the passenger side spring's in. So I kind of need to adjust the leaves. And I'm an idiot, I just stuck it in backwards. Well, I guess I gotta take it back out. Alright, now it's in the correct way. And leaf springs from the pin to the eyelet, the shorter distance always goes to the front. Longer distance goes to the back. Now it's in right. Next thing I'll have to do on the rear here is narrow the 9" or forward rear end up. I ordered the axles, who knows when they'll be here. I don't know what I'll do next. Might fix the rockers and cab corners, I guess. I don't know. I haven't decided yet.